All right, guys, Patrick from Art Storefronts here and back with another live customer interview. And we have none other direct, from Hollywood, California, Smitty Bones. Oh, I see.
Hey there, how's it going?
Yeah, good, good. How are you doing? Where did you come up with the name Smitty Bones in the first place, just out of curiosity?
It's actually a college name I got stuck with way back when. So my name is actually Brian Smith, but there's like a bajillion of us out there. So my nicknames in college were Smitty Bones or Smithsonian, and Smithsonian is also pretty much taken on all platforms. So Smitty Bones won out.
Smitty Bones went out. I love it. Where'd you go to college, just out of curiosity?
Savannah College of Art and Design. Yeah,
nice.
Back before it was like super popular to go there. Not to age myself, but
oh, that's all right. That's all right. We have to age ourselves sometimes. And how long have you been in LA then?
Oh, off and on. I mean, I graduated in 2007. That's when I first came out here, and it was during the first writer's strike and the recession. It was such a great time to come out to Hollywood. So yeah, just figure it out.
Well, awesome. Well, I wanted to bring you on and have an interview. I love I'm going to show your Instagram real quick so people can see. Smitty Bones has like a crazy iconic style, and underpinning that is sort of your iconic logo, I would say. When did you first create this thing?
Crown sort of came out of my travels. So in between my stints in LA, I started working on cruise ships, selling art for like a decade. So for 1 year, and I did it for 10 years. But all my travels, going around seeing the castles and learning about the royal families and everything. And I've always just loved crowns. So I wanted to come up with something that was a bit unique, that made me stand out. And, you know, living in Hollywood, I've always loved celebrities and movies and everything. So just kind of fused the two together. Yeah.
And made it about your style. And when you say you worked on a cruise ship selling art, so you weren't creating the art that was getting sold. You were just working in like the art sales department there or whatever. What do you think about other artists? Yeah. What do you think about that as a revenue channel? Because I feel like this whole notion of getting into the cruise market has been like a hot button topic in this industry for like a long time, right? Like it's a ton of art sells on those things, which is sort of crazy. And like, you wouldn't think it, but it does.
Yeah. It's nobody ever thinks that it is. When I tell them I sold art on a cruise ship, everybody's just like, what? They have no idea about it. But yeah, it is like a huge thing. And they're always changing. Like, you know, I said I did it for a decade, and when I did, you know, the art was changing more. They have established artists, but they're also bringing on new artists. And it's our job as the salespeople, you know, like take their accolades, take what makes them unique and stand out, and promote that to the people coming on board and doing the live art auctions and all that fun stuff.
Wow.
So I learned a lot about art marketing from that as well.
Have you tried to get your art in on any of those circuits?
I have tried. It's a tight-knit family to get in there. It's still kind of a work in progress at this moment. And because I do so many celebrities and known people, it's a little bit of a gray area. I mean, I know you guys have gotten a lot of questions about copyrights and everything. So it's a fun little world, and we're still figuring it out. But, you know, it's part of my brand. So I enjoy it.
And what he's alluding to, that like a lot of his work obviously has celebrities in it, because, you know, it's Hollywood based and celebrity based, and you can talk about that a little bit. But in all the time you've been doing this, have you gotten a single solitary takedown notice or copyright notice or anything of the like?
No, nothing so far. I mean, there was one thing with Mattel with all the Barbie craze, but then they came back and they said it was fine. So. And I actually got to start a conversation with Mattel, which was great.
See, I think this always comes up. Like anybody that has anything to do with like celebrity likenesses always is like, hey, you can't do that without permission. You can't do that without permission. And I'm not a lawyer, so I don't understand what the laws are. But every time I ask, you know, hey, you've created these celebrity things. We've got one guy that does movie posters, right? And he repaints movie posters in sort of like his own style. And in every instance that I've talked to one of you guys that does this, you've either A, never been contacted, or B, which happens even more likely, if you do get contacted, they want to buy it or they want to collab, or it's like the gatekeeper coming directly to you and saying like, hey, I really like this work. You know, can we do something with it? Or, you know, them saying like, hey, keep going. This is cool. You know, why not?
Yeah, I mean, it's great publicity, especially on Instagram. If you can tag or if they're on Instagram, tag them when you do a post or a video. And more often than not, they'll, as long as they're not like a huge like Hollywood A-list, they usually respond to reality stars. Like if you ever want to, if you do anything like celebrities or anything with your art, if you do the reality stars, they love it. Like the housewives, I've had 3 different housewives collect some of my arts. I went on one of their podcasts to talk about it. So it's fun and it gets you out there. And yeah, I mean, I say go for it.
Yeah, amazing. And so you sold more art probably to celebrities than you have probably just lay people, right? I mean, I looked at your feed and yeah,
it's a good mix for sure. I mean, when I was getting started, you know, it's a little bit easier being here in Hollywood because there's always an event or something happening where you know someone's going to be there. So you kind of always, you know, have your Instagram handle ready or have something ready to promote yourself. Again, it's all a marketing machine. And if you can get a picture with a celebrity or, you know, gift them their portrait, I'm all for that. And that's kind of what kept me going with the celebrity thing. I mean, I also do non-celebrities. So when I started out, the crown covered the eyes of my subjects because that was, you know, the crown symbolizes strength and confidence. And, you know, I always say we exactly know where we're going in life, but as long as we stay strong and confident, you know, good things will come. So that was kind of the driving force. And when I started doing the celebrities, that sort of took off as well. So I kind of have 2 different lanes that I play with, but the celebrity one's fun. I mean, what can I say?
Yeah, it's amazing. Question for you that I'm getting from Instagram is all of this digitally done or are you hand painting this stuff?
So I do both. When I first started out, it was all canvas, acrylic on canvas, and then I would do like gold and silver leafing for the crowns, and then do resin pours over it. But resin's a pain in the ass to work with. If anybody has, I'm sure you know. So now I work more digitally. I do a hand sketch. It always starts out as a hand sketch, and then I will load that into Procreate and color it digitally, and then put that out there. And then if somebody does want a physical version of it, I'll print it out as a giclée on canvas, and then I'll go and embellish it from there. So go do acrylic on top of it, do embellishments like Swarovski crystals or resin or ribbons or, you know, whatever lends itself to the image. So it's kind of, you talk with the client, see what they want, and make it work from there.
You can make it work from there. Amazing. And would you say, based on the subject matter material, are you doing more of your revenue based on the commissions themselves than you are the prints after the fact, or is that turning into more of a blend? What does that whole shakeup look like?
Commissions is where, yeah, it's mainly commissions. And then also, I forget the term you guys talked about when you were talking with Meg, but it was like if something really big happens in pop culture, like kind of reversing it that way. Like, what was a big one? I mean, the Barbie stuff, obviously, when the Barbie craze was going on, if you did anything Barbie, that kind of got you notoriety. And then also, like, again, with the housewives, when those seasons are on, if there's a big moment with one of them, I would do a portrait of that, you know, either them like in the moment with their like with the crazy like faces they make, or just do like a really pretty portrait of them and tag them on Instagram. I mean, I did that with Lisa Rinna, and she's like a huge fan. She always like repost to her stories and stuff when we do one of hers. So again, the reality stars are great. So yeah, it's like it's getting to, I don't want to say take advantage, but like if a moment's being talked about in pop culture on the news or whatever, then why not, like, you know, celebrate that and put it out there and help, you know, help it help you as well. So that's 100%. One way. And commissions.
100%. And you know what it is called? Great marketing. Okay. It's called great marketing. And, you know, there's in marketing terms, there's a guy, and maybe you heard me talk about this or not, but have you heard me use the term newsjacking?
Yes, that's what it was. I forgot what you called it. Newsjacking.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Newsjacking. So again, the newsjacking story, because it's this marketer, David Meerman Scott, came up with the term, but and I'm sure it's been around for a long time conceptually, but he coined it or whatever when the 300 miners, or the 33 miners rather, were stuck in the ground in Chile, right? And a marketer was like, oh my God, when these guys come up out of the mine, their eyes are going to be so desensitized to sunlight. We've got to get them sunglasses. And so an Oakley rep flew down there with sunglasses, and they sent 33 pairs of Oakley down in the hole. When those guys came up, everyone had Oakley glasses on, and it was like 150 million of free PR for Oakley, right? And what's crazy, what I love about it as a niche is the more you build your archive, all of these people that you're creating things for, they all have different stories and different timelines. And there's going to be times when they pop back up again, right? It could be something like, you know, scandalous, like in an affair, or it could be an accomplishment, or it could be their birthday. And it's like, boom, it gives you an opportunity to post that directly to social and just hammer it. So I think the sheer volume of newsjacking, especially as time goes on, is amazing. But I do have to imagine for you, the fact that you're in LA and you know exactly what's going on in LA and all the events, that's got to help out tremendously. Side note question, sure. What attracted you to Art Storefronts then?
I was looking for, to get art marketing advice first. That's, I think, what got me to you guys. And then I was also looking for a platform that I could host all my artwork on and just have one place where people can go and order whatever they want. And I literally don't have to do anything. So people can go and order it on metal, on paper, on wood, on, you know, whatever size they want, and then or the merch, you know, t-shirt, mug, or anything, and the order just goes straight to the vendors. I get a notification, but I literally don't have to do anything. It's great.
Yeah, it's like the most important thing. And before I forget on this one, like I really think you're onto something conceptually with these types of edits. This is what Instagram is like all about these days. Like the fact that you can have the artwork from the iconic movie or the iconic TV show or whatever it is and melt the two of them together in one post. I'm very surprised this hasn't gotten a ton more action. You know, you have to repost this thing often, but these types of split screen edits where like the pop culture actual icon that we're all bonded to and we remember is so famous, and then the derivative work below it, I think is a genius way to play it. And I also think like incumbent for you to get one serious marketing calendar going on, and it can start out with I'm just going to give you some tactical advice on this because this is honestly what I would do. And it'll be a little bit annoying because you're going to have to constantly read these reports. But one, I would get one master marketing calendar going on. I would find out when all of these birthdays are. I would find out when the release date of the movie was, when the 10th anniversary is going to be, when the 20th anniversary is going to be, so you're not caught off guard on any of those types of things. And then I would probably set up keyword alerts and Google alerts, which are free to do, for every single solitary one of these celebrities' names. And anytime something pops up, you're aware of it, you know about it, boom, you can go right to socials and then ride the hype that's like clearly going on with that, you know? I think when you're in this modality that you're in, it just, the minute it's in the zeitgeist, you got to go, right? And you brought up Meg. It's like Meg's gotten 3 Super Bowl champion teams, right? With her Kansas City Chiefs stuff. And it's like, oh my gosh, they're coming around again. Here's like a 3-week hype cycle to promote this, go all in on this, you know, and really, really hammer it. So I want you aware of what all of those holidays are. Cause how many would you say you have in the can? You know, kind of with the crown, the celebrity, and in various different capacities. I mean, do we have like hundreds now, or what are we talking?
Oh yeah, I think we're in the hundreds now for sure, if not the 200s. So I have a list of the birthdays. I definitely do that, and it's funny like which ones get more traction. It's like almost hit or miss. Like the Golden Girls, anytime I do anything with Golden Girls, that usually gets
hilarious. Their fans are diehards.
Yeah, you got to find the ones with like a really big fan base. So Golden Girls, Powerpuff Girls was another one that really surprised me, because that started out as a commission. My friend was like, "Hey, do the Powerpuff Girls," and I vaguely knew who they were, because I usually don't do like cartoons because my style is already pretty illustrative. So when I do a cartoon, it kind of just looks like the cartoon anyways. So I try and stick to real people, but yeah. Yeah, the vintage celebrities are really, there is such a following for them. So it's a different type of news jacking, I guess, in a way that if you can find a niche or a thing that has such a cult following, it's crazy, especially if you get on Reddit and post it on there, you get all kinds of fun responses, good and not so good. But
well, that's the internet at large, right? I mean, you do anything, you're gonna get torn a new one in today's day and age. How are you finding Reddit though? Are you finding that that's leading to sales?
I won't say as much sales, more just like getting your name out there to a different group of people. Really, I haven't found that. I haven't gotten like a straight commission from Reddit yet, but you do get a lot of feedback, and it's really good for suggestions of like, hey, who should I do next, or what do you guys want to see? So if your style lends to that, I mean, I guess it could be for any style, like what if you guys like this, what more would you want to see? That can pretty much filter down to whether you do landscapes, people, abstracts, whatever, I suppose.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
yeah, it's good. I mean, you just have to have a thick skin if you're going to go to Reddit. So, but I feel like as artists, we kind of have that anyways if you're putting yourself out there. So,
yeah. And then look, it's no different than exercising, the thick skin, right? Like every time you go out do the run, you get a little bit better, a little bit smoother. Every time you do the push-ups, you could do a couple of more. Like it takes a thick skin to market and put your stuff out there in today's day and age, because trolls will troll, right? Like I get it daily, every day from all angles. And there'll be certain days where maybe I've had a few too beers a little bit early in the afternoon and it like gets me, and I start hammering out the diatribes, and then right before I hit send, I gotta like stop. It's hard. It takes a ton of practice. Yeah, I think, seeing your work and going through this, like most people struggle so hard to find an audience for what they're creating in the first place, and you have hundreds of audiences, big and small, and they're completely disparate. And normally when you're into one of these particular characters, you're not likely into all the rest of them, and it's like both a huge opportunity and then in some capacities I imagine an Achilles heel. But my goodness, to do some of the merch plays with some of this, like if you did a Housewives merch play, or if you did a a Golden Girls merch play, or anything of the above, or a series of movies, my God, if you did like the coasters and everything else, I feel like the merch opportunities for you could be significant. I find this just so entertaining to see like the iconic movie and then the actual celeb. I know you've got a bunch of these pieces. I really got to encourage you to do more of these. I think if you started posting more consistently and you stay at this for a little while longer, you're going to end up with just a massive following for just how compelling these things are just right out of the gates. Super colorful.
It's fun. I mean, they definitely get traction. It's fun to revisit, like the iconic moments. So I'm pretty quick to do. I just take it from YouTube, the video, and then put it in CapCut and just go from there. So, and I try to do at least one a day, and then if I have them all, then you just start recycling them. If I kind of go through bursts of when I get commissions or get inspiration or see a movie and be like, "Ooh, I want to do that one." So then I'll like do a bunch within a month and then have a lot more content. But then if I am not creating as much within a few weeks, so like I was just in Europe months, so I wasn't creating a ton, and I was just kind of recycling all those.
Got it.
Yeah, it's a marketing machine for sure.
Yeah, oh, for sure it is. And how long all in have you been with Art Storefronts now? Or what are you, a couple of years or just a year?
Yeah, no, at least 2 years for sure. Like,
at least 2 years.
Over 2 years.
Has it helped? Has the business been growing in that period of time?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my Instagram before art storefronts was like not even 500 or so. And
Mm-hmm.
then after, taking the marketing advice, I mean, I try and hop on office hours as much as I can, and, taking advice from other people's situations that I'm like, oh, I think that can apply that to mine.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's been growing from there. So you just have to, it's not magical overnight, but you never know. I'm just waiting for that one thing to happen. When you have Paris Hilton hold up one of your paintings and have that picture on the red carpet, it definitely gets you a boost. So
Yeah.
it's just keeping the grind and keeping hope alive, and you have to, and I enjoy doing it. So even if it's I'm not making a bajillion dollars at it right now, not yet, but
Yeah.
you have to enjoy what you do, because if you don't, then what's the point, really?
Yeah, what's the point? And it's always a grind. It's never a magical overnight success story. There's just years of pain, and then you wake up one day and you're like, oh wow, I have a serious business here. This is amazing. Let's keep going. What curious your experience with giveaways. Have you leveraged them? What type of activity is that drawn? Is it helping you to grow your email list?
Yeah, the last giveaway I did was probably the best one.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got maybe 35, 40 new people on the email list.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely giveaways when I'm doing a live show. Like, I just have the sign up list, like, hey, at the end of the show, I'm going to do a giveaway. If you're going to be in the pool, like, sign up for this. That's where I found the most success to do it, is at live shows.
Yeah.
I really do enjoy doing them. So,
yeah. So talk to me about that a little bit. What live shows have you done? Are you doing like gallery shows or co-op shows or shows and theirs, or what have they been?
Yeah, there's one that comes through twice a year here in LA. It's called Superfine. And they do it in downtown LA. So it's like a group. There was probably maybe 50 of us, and it was like a Thursday through Monday thing. And you just go each day, you meet people, you talk to them. I mean, I really love doing that. But again, I learned how to do that over 10 years of marketing other artists on cruise ships.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of artists say they're not comfortable talking about it, but it's just talk to people. You don't even have to necessarily talk about the art at first. Just strike up a conversation about whatever. And it's one-on-one sales in person is all about likability. So if they like you as a person, they're gonna be interested in your art as well. So I do those, and then they have in Los Feliz here, they have a Sunday, it's like a flea market. It's all kinds of things. It's like vintage clothing, photographs, antiques, and arts. And it's a real fun time. You meet all kinds of fun people there. So it's a grind. It's like an all day thing. So you're exhausted at the end of the day, but it's a good exhausted.
How often do you find you do that show?
I try to do that at least once a month. And like I said, it's every Sunday. And those spots go quick. So you got to be on top of it to get in there and get a booth. Mm-hmm. So it's a bit like Hunger Games in that sense.
Yeah. But you have an affluent market there.
Yeah, it's one of the less expensive ones. So that's the one I try to focus on. Some of the bigger ones that come downtown, they can get a bit pricey to enter. So it's always a gamble. Usually I at least always break even if I don't make a profit. So then that way, but they make a profit.
Yeah. If you run the giveaway and then you run the sale after, that usually always helps as well. Have you been working all the Hollywood angles you can, trying to talk to the producers, trying to talk to the show creators in any capacity at all? I mean, I feel like, nobody really buys DVDs anymore, but you could probably certainly get some show advertisement and or, promotional material deals in your future anyway, if you haven't gotten them yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about finding that right person to talk to when it comes to that. Instagram helped me out as well, especially with the newer shows, like that show Yellow Jackets. I don't know if you saw it with Christina Ricci and Juliette Lewis. I loved all the actresses in that. It's all the 90s actresses. So I
Yeah.
did a bunch of portraits of them, and I was just tagging the show. Usually the shows have their own Instagram handles as well as the actresses themselves. So I tagged both of them, and the Yellow Jackets people, they just started adding me to their stories. And that, you know, I've never seen a story or a post get so many likes like all at once. It was like a bit magical to see that number keep rising. So it got like 16,000 in like an hour. It was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So yeah, you never know. You just got to keep at it.
Yeah, amazing. So big picture, I ask an ambush question on these things all the time for my own selfish purposes. But if there's only one thing and one thing only we could improve at Art Storefronts, what would it be? What's your one thing for us?
Oh, I mean, you guys are so good at customer service. You guys are always there to like when we need help to help us, which is like non-existent on most other things. Maybe, maybe like more merch options. I know people have been asking for that. One lady was like, she was selling a lot of yoga mats, and then yoga mats disappeared, and I guess I'm working on to get more of that. And gosh, yeah, it's an question for sure. Jeez, like.
I know. Well, if I asked you like, what are 5 things, you'd be like, get out of here. But normally when I ask one thing, I try to get to like, what is the biggest struggle my customers are having right now that we can fix, you know?
I mean, like maybe more themes for the website as well. I was looking the other day because they did a website audit, and they're like, "Oh, you're not on the most recent themes, like the 3.0 ones." And I was like, "Oh, I went and looked, and most of them are white backgrounds." And I know that's like the general rule is like white backgrounds sell better, but I just really prefer black because my stuff is so colorful, and there was like only one black theme that I saw, so that's the one I'm on right now, just because it was the only one.
It's hard, right? Because what we found is everything that we're attempting to do in the digital world should just mimic the paradigm of how art sells in the real world. And what is every single solitary art gallery and every single solitary museum all look the same. Everyone, everywhere, right? And it's weird because, you know, we have some guys that do like the nighttime spectral photography, right? And they're like, I do not want a white background. I need a black background. And I think there are some instances where it works. And I do think it would work for you, but you never find an art gallery that has black walls, or very few, right? You know, if ever.
Yeah. I mean, the gallery model is slowly dying, I feel. I mean, since I moved back to LA, I've worked in 3 different art galleries here. And it's, less and less people are walking through the doors. It's all going online, which is another reason I came to Art Storefronts as well.
100% it is. But I do think there's opportunity. And, you know, it goes especially for where you are in LA. Like, you see a decent shopping center or a decent retail zone where you know there's good traffic, and all of a sudden you're like, the shop's been sitting there for a couple of months, like, go and get it for a month. Just go and negotiate with the landlord and be like, look, this thing's been sitting, let me do a pop-up in here for a month. You know, maybe I can grab another artist and then go and throw your stuff in there and try to have 1 month's worth of shows, you know, because owning your own gallery, the artist owning their own gallery, I think, is what's going to displace the traditional art gallery. They'll still be the traditional galleries, of course, but there's just never going to be as many of them as there were, because you're right, it's all getting displaced, you know. Like, I have a local bike shop that I go to, and the poor guy's dying. It's about to go under. He's like, I can't compete with the direct to consumer, the DTC guys, and he's right. And it's the same in art, which is amazing. Well, what else? What else are you working on that we can help you on, motivate you on, and encourage you on, Smitty Buns?
Let me know if there's any specific celebrities that you want to see. I always ask when I do my posts, and like, who else do you guys want to see? And I always get some really great feedback with that. So either comments on one of my posts or send me a DM for sure. Or any commissions. You know, commissions have been great for me. I enjoy doing them. I get a really positive response for them. So, you know, if there's birthdays coming up, or, you know, we just did Mother's Day, but, you know, Father's Day is coming up. I also do portraits of men as well. That's another thing I want to start expanding into more, not just do the female celebrities. But yeah, anybody you guys want to see, or any other suggestions that you guys have, I'm always open. You know, it's all about taking advice, evolving, and merging it into your brand for sure.
Sober Sports asking you if you've done Sun Ra. I don't know who Sun Ra is.
I don't know who that is either. You'll have to send me a picture. Is that Sun Ra? It sounds like a comic book person.
Yeah,
maybe?
Might be.
I don't know. Send me an image. I maybe I'll know if they are. But yeah, for sure. If it works, I'll do it.
Always open. Well, Smitty Bones, that's awesome. Totally appreciate your time. Love what you're doing. Thanks for all the positive stuff about Art Storefronts, and I'm gonna have some thoughts on how you can get the word out more. But I think, in all honesty, like how awesome I find this Instagram account to be. If you keep posting consistently, your numbers are going to continue to go up. I think when you're firing this many arrows that has audiences behind them that are this big, it's only a matter of time.
Let's hope so. Yeah, it'll happen for sure.
Well, guys, give him a follow. And by the way, he was a jazz artist, and that you should look him up is what Sober Sports telling you to do here. Give Smitty Bones. It's the.SmittyBones on Instagram. So at the.SmittyBones. And thanks so much for the time today. That was awesome. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. It was great to chat with you one-on-one.
Yep. Anytime. We'll get another one of these going in. I'm going to end this.